Hello and welcome to the Chaos to Calm workshop. I am so excited to share with you 5 routines that I believe are going to make your life less stressful. And not only that, they're going to make your life more peaceful, right? And I'm pretty sure that's something that we all can be on board with, that we want less stress and more peace in our lives. So here is kind of a rundown of what we're going to accomplish during this workshop. We're going to talk about what routines are and also what they're not. I think that part's really important. We're going to talk about how to design routines for your season. We're going to talk about, of course, the 5 routines that will invite more peace into your life. And then I want to take it just one more step farther, and I want to talk about how to weave these routines into your life right now. But before we get into the actual content of the workshop, I want to let you know, if you just found this video randomly, maybe you didn't sign up for the workshop and this just like popped up on your feed somewhere, if you want to download a free workbook that goes along with the workshop, if you go to jessicamassey.com/CTC, you can download the workbook. Like I said, it's totally free and it will be emailed to the email that you submit on that page. Make sure that you check your spam and promotions folder, because sometimes, especially if you have never received an email from me before, it'll be hiding in there. But again, the workbook is totally free. So head over to that link, jessicamassey.com/CTC, and it will be sent to you. With that being said, in case you, like I said, have no idea who I am, maybe you just stumbled upon this. My name is Jess. Nice to meet you. I am a wife to my high school sweetheart. His name is Adam. And I'm a mom to a sweet little girl. Her name is Everly. And I'm also the owner and founder of the community-centered productivity company, Hustle Sanely. I consider myself a recovering workaholic turned peaceful productivity coach who uses my signature framework, the 5 keys to hustling sanely, to teach high-performing women with really full lives how to trade running on fumes for showing up intentionally in every season. I'm telling you right now, from experience, it is totally possible for you to stop the constant hustle and pursue your goals while prioritizing your well-being and relationships. I promise you don't have to choose one or the other, okay? The 5 keys to hustling sanely is a wellness-based approach to productivity that helps you design your days with intention no matter what season of life you're in. I started Hustle Sanely way back in 2018, and since then, I've helped thousands of women create their version of a peacefully productive life through our planners, our podcast, and coaching. And I'm going to help you start creating your peacefully productive life today. I'm super passionate about what I do, and I'm really excited to share this workshop with you. So let's just jump right in. I don't want to waste any time, okay? So what is a routine? I feel like before I can tell you routines that are going to create more peace in your life, we need to all be on the same page about like what the heck a routine even is, right? So a routine, like the cut and dry definition, it's a sequence of habits regularly followed that provides transitional support, that part's really important, between parts of your day and or week to make them smoother, okay? So if you've ever been in the Hustle Sanely community at all, you've heard me say your routines are tools, not chains. I want you to use them as guides, not as anchors. They are not meant to box you in, but to equip you to put your time and energy toward tasks that actually align with the vision that you have for your life, okay? So view routines as bridges that take you from chaos to calm. That is the beauty of routines, okay? If you build your routines and your schedule around your vision and your priorities, then you're going to be excited to show up for them. So here's a little comparison list of how routines should be operating in your life and how they shouldn't be operating in your life. So routines should support your current season of life. They should make sense for you. They should not be a copy and paste from somebody else's life. You are living a completely different life than anybody else on the planet, so your routines need to make sense for you. Routines should make you feel calm and grounded. They should not make you feel boxed in or overwhelmed. And then the last one, routines should free up time and mental energy so that you can use that margin on things that matter most to you, like spending time with your loved ones, self-care, working toward a goal, whatever it might be. Routines should not require a ton of mental energy or be something that you dread doing, okay? If you're kind of like, hold on a second, I am like nodding my head to the routines shouldn't column, that's okay. I've got you. That's what we're here to talk about. And that's a really, really big sign, like a red flag that your routines need to be refreshed, that they're not working for you. Here's the thing, as your life shifts and your season changes, your routines should change with you. Our routines are not set in stone, but they need to evolve to support you. Routines kind of play into the rhythm of your days and your weeks. And what that means, it's the flow. A rhythm is the flow, like how you feel as you move through your day and as you move through your week. And routines, that's what's going to give you like that smooth rhythm, okay? You already have routines, whether you realize it or not. They may be frantic, chaotic, and not aligned with your goals right now, but they do exist. Because remember, a routine is just a sequence of habits. So let's do a little example. Maybe right now you come home from work, you let your dog out, and then you plop down on the couch. You tell yourself you're only going to watch one episode of your favorite show, and then you're going to go get a workout in. But usually you wind up sitting on the couch, ordering Uber Eats, and scrolling Instagram until like 10 p.m. When you shuffle over to your bed, you collapse and you pass out until the next morning. So that's a routine. If it's something that you do consistently, you might not be stoked about it, but it's still your routine. So the big question is, when should you create a routine? So I feel like a lot of people kind of overcomplicate routines. They're simple. I want you to remember that routines are meant to be simple. You don't need 500 routines. You just need a few intentional routines that support you. So I want you to consider creating a routine when you feel like you need transitional support in a certain part of your day or week. So think about what part of your days feel clunky, what part of your weeks feel clunky or chaotic. That's when I think a routine would benefit you. So I want you to, when you think about routines, imagine an on-ramp on an interstate, okay? That on-ramp is what gives a car space to transition onto the interstate smoothly. A routine works the same way in your life. A routine gives you the space to smoothly transition between parts of your day and or parts of your week, okay? Routines are what take you from chaos to calm, like I already said. So my life personally feels so flowy thanks to my routines. Routines create so much margin in my life. I'm hardly ever wondering when something is going to get done or where something is going to fit into my life. Everything that's important to me has a place in my day, in my week, or in my month, thanks to routines. Routines really do just set me up for success. They equip me to show up for what matters most to me. They give me a sense of peace, and I'm able to be more present when I'm doing things because I'm not worried or stressed out about the next thing. Like I just said, everything has a place in my life thanks to my routines. So routines, they just weave things into my schedule so that I'm not having to start from scratch every day, because that sounds exhausting and I'm not about that life, okay? So that's what routines are and what routines aren't. So now that we're all kind of on the same page, now I want to talk about 5 steps that you can walk through for designing routines that are going to make sense for your season. And when I say your season, I just mean like what you're going through in life right now. Okay. So if you're a new mom, you need to make sure that your routines support that season. If you just started grad school, you need to make sure that your routines support that season. If you're planning a wedding, you need to make sure that your routines support that season. Okay. You get it? You get it? Okay. So the 5 steps for designing routines for your season. Step number 1 is identify the parts of your day and or your week that feel kind of chaotic or clunky. Step 2 is decide how you want that part of your day or your week to feel. So you're setting the intention. Step 3 is call out the roadblocks that are keeping you from having your desired routine. So like what's getting in the way. Step 4 is brainstorm a solution to the roadblocks. And then step number 5, the last step, is set yourself up for success by implementing the solution via habits. So okay, let's break these down one by one and then go over an example. That's what you see kind of in this part of the screen is an example. So we're going to work through it together. So step 1 is identify the parts of your day that are chaotic or clunky. So I want you to think about the parts of your day that stress you out or overwhelm you. Is it when you're trying to leave for work? Is it when you get home from work? Is it when the kids get home from school? Is it your lunch break at work? Like I want you to think about what parts of my day and or my week just stress me out. Do I dread? Do I just I'm very overwhelmed during that part of my day and or week. So maybe for you, getting out the door for work right now, it feels frantic, rushed, and unorganized. And you usually already feel stressed out when you walk into work and like the day just started. So that's never a good sign, right? So that is step one. Step two is decide how you want that part of your day or your week to feel. So set the intention. So in the example, we said that the part of your day that was feeling chaotic was leaving for work, right? So right now it's feeling frantic, it's feeling rushed, it's feeling choppy, unorganized, like all of those kinds of things. You're barely making it out of the door on time. Half the time when you are making it out the door on time, you have to turn around and go back home because you forgot your purse. Half of the days of the week, you have a coffee stain on your shirt because you couldn't find the lid that goes with your little travel coffee mug. By the time you get to work, you're feeling frazzled and you haven't even actually started work yet. So, okay, step one, check. We've identified the part of the day that feels really chaotic, really clunky. So now step two, what do? We want to set the intention. How do we want that part of our day to feel? So we want to go from frantic, rushed, and unorganized to peaceful, slow, and streamlined, right? So ask yourself, how do I want this part of my day to feel? How do I want my mornings before work to go? Maybe you desire mornings that are just a little bit slower and more streamlined so that you're not spending 15 minutes looking for things like your purse, the lid to your coffee mug, that kind of stuff. You imagine having 10 minutes. That's not that much time, but 10 intentional minutes to sit down and journal after you get ready so that you can kind of like get your thoughts in order. You imagine pouring your coffee in the mug that has a lid sitting right next to it that you're not like digging around trying to find it. You imagine grabbing your car keys and your purse and heading to work with a clear and peaceful mind, right? So again, you're wanting to go from chaotic, frantic, and unorganized to peaceful, slow, and streamlined. So that is step two, set the intention. Where are we heading? Where do we want to go? Step three is call out the roadblocks that are keeping you from having your desired routine. So what are the roadblocks in this situation? We're going to stick with the same example, leaving for work. So a roadblock is exactly what it sounds like. What things are keeping you from making that routine your reality? So in that example, the roadblocks would be not having enough time to journal, right? Not being able to find things like a lid for the coffee mug, and often forgetting items like your purse. So those are roadblocks. Those are things that are preventing you from having that peaceful morning. So step four is brainstorm a solution to the roadblocks. Now, I want to point this out. These do not need to be like mind-blowing solutions, okay? They just need to be very practical and very implementable. So now that you've identified the problems, the next step is figuring out like, how am I going to fix these? Like, what can we do about this? Because we are solution-oriented people in the Hustle Sanely community, okay? So again, be realistic with yourself as you do this. I want you to think of things that you can do right now, okay? So things that you're equipped to do or can quickly become equipped to do. These are the types of solutions that I'm wanting you to kind of think about, because remember, routines are not meant to stress you out. They're meant to support you, okay? So ask yourself, what can I do to make blank, like insert your roadblock, less stressful? So sticking with our leaving for work example, we can wake up 15 minutes earlier so that we have time to journal. We can buy 3 new travel coffee mugs with lids, or we can clean out our kitchen and find the missing lids for the mugs that we already have. And then another potential solution is creating a space in our home to keep the out the door things. So like purse, keys, sunglasses, that kind of stuff. So again, these solutions do not need to be groundbreaking. They just need to be implementable. They need to be something that you can do either today or tomorrow to like change this part of your day, right? So one tip that I do want to mention before we move on, I want you to choose a solution that has the least amount of resistance. So in the second bullet on number 4, it says buy 3 new travel coffee mugs with lids, or clean out your kitchen to find the missing lids. So which one of those has the least amount of resistance for you? If you're on a budget right now and you're not wanting to spend on extras, there's probably resistance to going out and buying 3 new coffee mugs, right? You're just like, okay, that's not in the budget. I don't want to do that. So then the option with the least resistance for you is going to be cleaning out the kitchen and finding those lids that go with the coffee mugs that you already have, right? So do what makes sense for your life. Choose the solution that has the least amount of resistance, okay? And then step number 5 is set yourself up for success by implementing the solution via habits. So we're going to stick with our example. journal. So not having enough time to journal, that was the roadblock. The solution was waking up 15 minutes earlier. So the solution in action with habits is go to bed 30 minutes earlier. We can all go to bed 30 minutes earlier. Okay. We can shave off scrolling on social media or watching an extra episode of TV. Like we all can, myself included. So go to bed 30 minutes earlier, set your journal in a pin somewhere where you're excited to spend time in the morning sitting down and journaling, right? That is a solution implemented via habits. The next one, buy 3 new travel coffee mugs with lids, or clean out your kitchen and find the missing lids for the mugs you have. So that's the solution, right? The habit that's going to help you implement the solution is when you put your dishes away, put the lids on the coffee mugs. So you never have a mug that is missing a lid, right? Like don't put them away separately. Put them away together. That's the habit. And then the last solution that we brainstormed was creating space in your home to keep out the door things. So remember, like purse, sunglasses, keys. So when you walk in from being out, immediately put your purse, your keys, your sunglasses, whatever that's going to live in that spot. Like don't let yourself carry them to the kitchen or to the dining room, pop them down on your bed. Like make it a habit to have that little spot wherever it is in your home that's by your front door, and put your stuff there immediately. So those are 5 steps that you can follow for designing routines in your life that are going to support your season. Okay. They're very straightforward. It's not meant to be complicated. Like I said, a lot of the time we're the ones complicating routines. Okay. So the next thing that I want to talk about, this is what I'm so excited to dive into, 5 routines that are going to make your life more peaceful. So these are 5 routines that I have been using in my own life for years at this point. I have taught so many of my students and my past clients how to create these routines for their own lives, and I have seen such good results. So I wanted to put them into a workshop and share them with you so that you can start creating these routines, especially if you're newer to routines, or maybe you just feel like you need a routine refresh. This is a really good place to start, okay? So the first one, not shocking, a morning routine. I am a big advocate of morning and evening routines, but before you're like, okay, lame, heard this before, I view morning and evening routines different than most productivity coaches. I don't think you need to be spending an hour or 2 hours on your morning and evening routines. I think you need a few intentional minutes at the beginning of your day and at the end of your day to help take care of your mental health and to bookend your days by showing up well for yourself and filling up your cup so that you can show up well in the middle of your days for everybody in your life, including yourself. Okay. So don't view morning and evening routines as these big, elaborate, like 1-2 hour things that you have to like gear up to do every day. No, they can take 5 minutes. All right. So morning routines are designed to set the tone for your day and position you to take ownership of your mindset, your time, and your energy. So like I said, a morning routine can be 10 minutes long or it can be 2 hours. There's not one that's better than the other. There's just the one that works best for you. Okay. So right now, my morning routine is when I prioritize my mental health hygiene habits. So I journal in the morning. I practice gratitude, which is a part of my journaling. I say my affirmations, which is a part of my journaling. I read and I pray. So basically, I'm journaling, I'm reading 10 pages of a book, and even praying is something that I do in my journal. So basically, I'm journaling and then I am reading 10 pages of a book, because those are habits that fill me up, that make me feel like my mindset is right for the day. So that is the first routine that's going to make your life more peaceful, is having an intentional morning routine. Second one is an intentional evening routine. So evening routines, on the flip side, they're designed to set you up for a peaceful evening and to prepare you for getting good quality sleep. So your morning routine actually starts with your evening routine, right? So create a simple flow of evening habits to help support good quality sleep and to help you wake up better in the morning. So some of my current favorite evening routine habits: putting my phone away by 8:45 p.m. I go to bed around 9:45 or 10, so I don't want to be on my phone that hour before bed. That's really important to me. Doing my skincare routine, journaling, reading, and then I drink magnesium every night before bed because it helps me sleep. Super simple, very straightforward, not a lot of bells and whistles, but it serves me well. It supports my season. So those are the first 2 routines, okay? Morning and evening routines. And these are ones that pretty much everybody's heard of. So the next one is the weekly prep meeting. So this is designed to help you plan for the coming week, so you know where your time and energy are going and what your top 3 tasks are. So I personally like to do my weekly prep meeting on Saturdays in this season. I feel like Fridays and Sundays are really common for a lot of people. Saturday is just what works best for me right now, me and my husband's work schedule, because we do this together. We sit down with our shared family Google Calendar. I sit down with my planner and we just kind of make a game plan for the week. We're like, okay, what do you have going on? What are your top 3 tasks that you want to get done this week? What are some habits that you want to implement that I can help support you in? Things like that. That is the third routine that's going to make your life more peaceful, is having a weekly prep meeting, just figuring out where you want your best time and energy to go every week so that you're not just winging it every week. Because when you wing it every week, you end up dropping the ball. And when you end up dropping the ball, you're carrying a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. And who wants to live like that? That's heavy. Right? So the fourth routine that I want to talk about to make your life more peaceful is a weekly home reset routine. So this is designed to help you get home tasks done efficiently and consistently so they're not taking up mental space. So I personally like to do my weekly home reset on Fridays, and the tasks that I do during my weekly home reset, I tidy all the rooms. This is not cleaning. I do not clean every room in the house. Anything that's out of place, I pick it up and put it where it's supposed to go. So that's what I do for that. Water the plants. I do this every other Friday, not every Friday, because I accidentally killed a lot of my plants because I was overwatering them. So that's something that I do every other Friday, but the rest I do every Friday. Washing all of our bedding, emptying all of our trash bins, planning our meals, and ordering our groceries. So if you want to hear more about a weekly home reset routine and just like tips for creating your own, I did a whole episode on the Hustle Sanely podcast on that. It's episode 166. So you can go tune into that. And also, if you haven't already taken time to flip through the workbook that comes with this workshop, I am giving you worksheets to actually, you know what? Hold on. We keep it real around here. I have my iPad right here and I have the workbook loaded onto the iPad so I can just pull it up and show you, okay? So in the workbook, I have exercises to help you game plan for all of these, okay? I know I'm in a small little bubble and you can't really see me, but go pull up the workbook because there, for all these routines, there's a brainstorm page to help you kind of create, like, figure out what kind of routine you want to create that's going to support you. And then the next page for each routine is a place to actually like write out the routine. Like the workbook is no joke. Like it is such a good resource. So if you're listening to this and you're like, okay, like I love this information, but like I want to put it into practice, the workbook. Okay. So go look at the workbook if you haven't yet. So that brings us to our last routine that is going to make your life more peaceful. And that is intentional rest. This one is major. Part of hustling sanely is knowing that we don't earn our rest. Instead, we choose to operate from a place of rest. Instead of asking yourself, have I worked enough to rest? Ask yourself, have I rested enough to do intentional work? I posted a reel the other day that did really, really well. It resonated with a lot of people. And it was talking about how hustle culture tells us that resting is taking our foot off the gas, when in reality, resting is putting fuel in the tank. Talk about a mindset shift, right? Like rest is so crucial to us in order for us to show up as the healthiest versions of ourselves. So my recommended rest schedule, I like to rest 30 minutes a day. And that's not all at one time. I'm a mom, I'm a business owner. Sometimes I just don't have the capacity to sit down and rest for 30 minutes at a time. It's sprinkled throughout my day. I like to do little habits, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, of what I call them self-care sprinkles, that I'm just like, hey, I love you and I'm taking care of you, to myself, whether that's standing outside in the sunshine for 10 minutes while I just take a breather, whether it's grabbing my book and sitting on the front porch and reading a chapter, you know what I mean? So just 30 minutes sprinkled throughout the day is my goal for intentional rest. And if you're just like, I am terrible at resting, you know what? I have a podcast episode for you too. If you go to episode 99 of the Hustle Sanely podcast, I talk about the 7 types of rest and how you can start weaving them into your life. So go check that out. The next one that I have on the recommended rest schedule is resting 1 day a week. Now, again, this isn't me saying like rest the entire day. If you can, great, please do that. I love that for you. But I just mean make sure that you take like a solid chunk of at least 1 day to rest. And when I say rest, I mean whatever is refreshing to you. That is what I consider rest. Whatever you need to be refreshed, whether you need to spend some time in nature, whether you need to go walk around Target or Barnes and Noble and just like be by yourself, whether you need to sit on the couch and watch an episode of your favorite show, whether you need to go on a hike, whether you need to go to a yoga class, like whatever rest is to you, there is not a wrong way to rest. It's whatever you need to feel refreshed. That's rest. Okay. So one day a week. So what I do for this in my life, my husband and I right now, we have, like I said, a daughter. So, on Fridays, it's self-care Fridays for me. And I get to take a few hours on Friday to go do whatever I want to do while my husband spends quality time with our daughter. And then on Saturdays, we flip it. I stay home and spend quality time with our daughter, and my husband goes out for a couple hours on Saturday, and it just fills his own cup. He does whatever he needs to do, whether he's going golfing, going on a bike ride, getting lunch with a friend, like whatever, okay? So whatever that looks like for you in your season, make sure that you give yourself enough time to rest during like one day a week. Like I would say shoot for at least like 1 to 3 hours. Okay. The next recommended rest schedule is one weekend a month. So the way that this looks in my life, I'm not like carving out a whole weekend where I'm just like, not doing anything, goodbye. Because like I said, I have responsibilities. I am a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a business owner. I can't just like fall off the face of the earth for a whole weekend, right? The way that we do this is we leave a weekend a month open without any set in stone plans. So that way we can just focus on being instead of doing. So that way we can just kind of wake up and be like, okay, like what are we in the mood to do today, right? We're not like, okay, we have to be at this birthday party. We have to be at this baby shower. We have to be at this wedding. Like, da, 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 da. Like it's a time in our month where we choose to pause. We choose to unhurry. We choose to slow down. Okay. So that's what that looks like for us. Maybe for you, it looks like going away to like a 2-day trip, like taking a solo trip to the mountains, or maybe for you, it looks like having a beach weekend with your girlfriends. Okay. It can look like whatever makes sense for your life, but just make sure that you're weaving in this intentional regular rest. And the last one is 1 week a year. Try to take 1 week a year where you're just like not focused on doing and you're focused on being. So we take a family vacation if that's what works well for us. But again, do whatever works best for you. So now that you know the 5 routines that are going to make your life more peaceful, I want to show you how I kind of fit all of these in my life. So I like to use a weekly outline to weave routines into my life. This beautiful thing right here is what I call my weekly outline. So when you hear me say weekly outline, I want you to think about that as the bones of your schedule. It shows you the flow of a typical week in your life, okay? So the intention here is to create it one time and to tweak it whenever your season changes or whenever you feel like it's no longer supporting you well. So a weekly routine it's a bird's eye view of a typical week in your life, okay? So having one of these, it allows you to easily see how much margin you have and plan things strategically so that you don't spread yourself too thin and feel burned out or overwhelmed. And having your weekly routine outline, it makes your weekly prep meetings so much easier. Weekly prep meetings are a part of the Hustle Sanely planning system because you're not starting from scratch when you plan from week to week. When you go to sit down to plan out your weeks, you can look at this and you're like, oh, okay, I already have all this in there. So now I just have to go and fill in the gaps, right? So I do want to make a note. I know that some people have different types of lifestyles where your weeks don't have the same typical flow from week to week. That's okay. You can still make this work for you. Let's say that you work shift work. Maybe week A, you work night shift, and week B, you work day shift. So make 2 weekly outlines, right? Make one, what your typical week looks like the days that you work day shift, and then make a weekly outline that what your typical week looks like on the days that you work night shift. Okay. So everything that I teach is meant to be tailored to you. I'm not teaching you like, this is the only way to do it. Like, absolutely not. Our schedules and routines are tools, not chains. Like I said at the beginning, right? So I want you to take what I'm teaching you and tweak it to make it work for you. So that being said, these are the 3 steps that I follow to create a weekly outline, and I wanted to share them with you. So step 1 is plug in your scheduled responsibilities in a typical week. So think about things like work hours, classes, church meetings, kids practices, things that are scheduled, that are time bound. Okay. So for me, those are everything you see in that pink color, that's scheduled. They're time bound. They're my scheduled responsibilities for the week. So my work hours, my husband's work hours, and church. Those are the things that are like immovable. Like we can't really move those things around. Step 2 is plug in your non-negotiable responsibilities and any supporting habits. So think about things like workouts, family walks, stuff like that. So for me, I put those in green. So you can see I have my workouts here, family walks, those are non-negotiable for us. The self-care day that I told you about for me, and then for my husband, we do our family walks in the afternoon on Tuesdays and Thursdays because of my work schedule. We have rest day here. So Sunday is a day that I don't go on social media. I don't work on Sundays. Like Sunday is completely like focusing on being instead of doing day. So that's what you can see on my weekly outline. And then step number 3 is plug in any other typical weekly routines. So think about things like your morning routine, your evening routine, your weekly prep meeting, your home reset routine. Hopefully these sound familiar because we just covered them. So you can see I have in this kind of peach color other routines. So I have my morning routine, my daughter's bedtime routine, my evening routine, home reset routine, weekly prep meeting. So this is an overview. This is a typical week in my life. Now, like I keep saying, our schedules and routines are tools, not chains, right? I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe 1 out of 6 weeks looks like this, like actually lived out in my life, right? Like this is an ideal week for me, but it doesn't always happen. But having the bones, having this foundation allows me to quickly make adjustments instead of panicking when things don't go according to plan, right? Instead of having to start from scratch, I'm able to be like, okay, I can move this around and fit this here. So having this tool allows me to make changes in my schedule quickly without getting stressed out or feeling like everything is going to come crumbling down. Okay. So I am so excited because in your workbook, there is a page for you to create your very own weekly outline. So I made mine in Canva in case anyone's wondering. Like I just literally put like colored blocks, like colored rectangles, and typed over top of them, like this stuff right here. So that's how I made mine. A lot of people that I see who have used my framework, they will do it with like marker and highlighter, things like that. Like just do it on like a regular piece of paper. So use the template that I gave you, use it however you want, however works best for you. Like I said, it's in your workbook. So I want you to grab your workshop workbook and complete the exercises so that you can design your own routines and then weave them into your week by putting what we just talked about into action. You can see it right here. Here's a blank copy of your weekly outline so that you can take everything that we just learned and you can put it into play in your own life. Be an action taker, okay? I can create your weekly outline for you. I can just give you the tools to do it. And I feel like I did a pretty dang good job at giving you the tools to do that. Maybe you just sat through this workshop and you're like, wow, I am loving what I am hearing, but I need some help. I need a little bit more help. And you're just ready to take your hustle sanely journey to the next level. I've got you. Because listen, I understand that life is full, like super full. But what if I told you that no matter how much you have on your plate, you can still show up as the healthiest, most vibrant version of yourself and not let stress rule your life anymore? I want you to imagine a few things with me, okay? Maybe right now, before the Hustle Sanely Lifestyle course, you feel stretched so thin in every area of your life and you're just not sure what to give your time and energy to. You want to show up well for everything, but instead you show up half-heartedly for everything. And you begin each day already feeling overwhelmed about everything that needs to get done, leaving you believing that you're stuck in a never-ending cycle of hustle that you can't change. Maybe right now that no matter how much you check off of your to-do list, you still have that little voice in the back of your mind saying that you're behind. You find yourself constantly saying things like, once this busy week is over, then I'll have more time for fill in the blank, AKA your priorities. But each week is the same, full of burnout and no margin. If that's you, I feel you. I've been you. That's why I created the Hustle Sanely Lifestyle course, because after you take the Hustle Sanely Lifestyle course, this is going to be more like your reality. Your days are going to have a flow to them. You're going to know exactly what needs to be done and when it needs to be done, freeing up a ton of mental energy that you can use for self-care, spending time with your loved ones, working toward your goals. And even on the days when close to nothing goes according to plan, you still feel at peace because you've learned how to use routines as tools, not chains. After you take the Hustle Sanely Lifestyle course, you're going to be so proud of the woman that you are and how you're showing up for your life and the people in it, including yourself. You're going to feel content for the first time in a really long time. Yes, you're working toward your big goals, but you're also really grateful for where you are right now. You've built a life that sets you up to be a present wife, a present mom, a present friend. When somebody asks you how you're doing, you're going to be able to look them in the eye and truthfully say, you know what? I'm thriving. Survival mode is not going to be your normal anymore. I created the Hustle Sanely Lifestyle course to teach ambitious women how to go from feeling stretched too thin and running on fumes to feeling proud of how they vibrantly show up for the things that matter most to them. And as a thank you for hanging out with me during this workshop, which by the way, this workshop is scratching the surface of the Hustle Sanely planning system that I teach inside the course. But as a thank you for hanging out with me today, I want to offer you a gift of $50 off the course. So if you use the code PEACEFULLIFE in all caps, you're going to get $50 off your enrollment in the Hustle Sanely Lifestyle course. So just head to jessicamassey.com/course and sign up to become a student so that you can start creating your version of a peacefully productive life. Now, I know some people, they're like, okay, this all sounds good, but like, what do we actually have going on here? Well, listen, I am like you. I like evidence. I like proof. So I want to take you inside the Hustle Sanely Lifestyle course and give you a peek at what is to come if you choose to sign up. So let's head over to the Hustle Sanely Lifestyle course and just give you a little look. Here is a look inside the Hustle Sanely Lifestyle course. I am just so excited to give you a peek inside of here. So as you can see, there are 22 lessons to complete, and I'm going to give you just a brief overview of what you can expect if you enroll in the course. So there is a Start Here module just to kind of get you acclimated to how everything works, and then there's an introduction to the Hustle Sanely planning system, which is what I am teaching you in this course. Then there is a section for course materials and downloads. So you get to download a course workbook. There is a slideshow that I use to teach throughout the course that I give you access to so you can follow along if that's how you learn best. And then there is a vision board template. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and look at the workbook together, because why not? If you enjoyed the workbook that came with the workshop that we just did, you are going to absolutely love this workbook. So I'm just going to give you a quick little scroll so you can get just an idea of what to expect. So each key to hustling sanely has corresponding exercises that go along with it. So you can see they are all here. So like I said, if you really resonated with the style of workbook that came with this workshop, you are absolutely going to love this. Like I said, the workshop was just the tip of the iceberg. So there's a little peek at the workbook. So if we go back to the course homepage, after course materials and downloads, each key to hustling sanely gets its own module. So you have key 1, get your mindset right. Key 2, get clear on your vision. Key 3, define your priorities. Key 4, create your routines and schedule. Key 5, implement Hustle Sanely 5 every day. And then down at the bottom, there's a couple of extra stuff. So I want to take you through, we'll do key 1 as an example, just so you can see how everything is set up. So each key to hustling sanely has 3 sections within it. So learn it is me going over what this key to hustling sanely is, what it is, how you do it, all of that good stuff. So it's a lot of teaching. So each of these has a video for you to watch. Then after you watch the video, you move on to the see it section. So you can see here, it's a download, and I know that the Hustle Sanely community loves a concrete example. Me too. So that's why I went ahead and did the majority of the workbook exercises. So, and I uploaded them so that you can see them done That way, as you're working on the workbook on your own, you have something to kind of compare it to and use as a reference. So you can see these are the key 1 exercises that I did. I did them just as if I was doing the workbook myself. And then I uploaded them, like I said, so that you have a concrete example to follow along with. So that is what you can expect in the see it section. And then the do it section is super, super straightforward. It just tells you in your course workbook, complete pages X through X to help you get your mindset right. So for key 1, it's pages 3 to 13. And so I just tell you which pages to do in the workbook for each key to hustling sanely. Now, if you saw down at the bottom here, there is a Notion template that I designed to complement the course, and you do get access to that. And I also recorded a tutorial on how to best use the Notion template. If you've never used Notion before, it's a software that I personally use for note taking. It's replaced the Notes app in my phone, and it's a free, like, you can sign up for Notion for free. You don't have to pay for it. They do have paid versions, but the free version is totally fine for this template. The last thing that I want to show you is just right here. If you go to jessicamassey.com/course, you can see everything that you want to know about this course, but I want to show you what we cover in each key, because I know a lot of people are just curious, like, okay, but what are the specifics of what we're going to go over? So in key 1, we work on identifying limiting beliefs and overcoming them with affirming truths using the PIES method. We also build a morning and an evening routine to help you with your mindset hygiene. Then if you look at key 2, which is get clear on your vision, we start off by taking inventory of where you're currently at in the different categories of your life. Then we create a life vision map and brainstorm your ideal day. Based on your top priorities in each of your life categories, we write intentional goals and plans to achieve them using the Hustle Sanely Switch goal mapping method. And then we wrap up key 2 by learning how to schedule your goals strategically based on what's happening in your life so that you don't feel spread too thin. Then we move on to key 3, which is define your priorities. We pinpoint what your daily, weekly, and monthly non-negotiables are for this season of your life. We develop habits and routines that set you up to show up for those non-negotiables. Moving on to key 4, which is create your routines and schedule. We first start off by designing routines that support your current season. Then we use the Hustle Sanely schedule building framework to create a weekly outline so that you're spending your time on what actually matters to you. Then we move on to using the 8 Hustle Sanely habits to design yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily routines to help you live a peacefully productive life. And then we wrap everything together with key 5, which is implement Hustle Sanely 5 every day. I teach you how to use Hustle Sanely 5 every day to combat feelings of overwhelm. If you're brand new to Hustle Sanely 5 is a list of 5 intentional habits that we do every day to help us hustle sanely. We also learn tips for choosing your focus 3 every day. And then you learn how to weave Hustle Sanely 5 into your current season of life. So that is what you can expect if you enroll as a Hustle Sanely course student. I truly cannot wait to come alongside you as your peaceful productivity coach and help you design a life that is peacefully productive. Not only am I going to help you design a life that is peacefully productive in your current season, but you're going to be able to take what we learn in this course and apply it to any future season of your life. So what are you waiting for? I will see you inside the Hustle Sanely lifestyle course. Don't forget to use your code PEACEFULLIFE in all caps for $50 off your enrollment.